You know, I dreamed of an atmosphere where there was a black pope, but the new pope is not black, but just as beautiful. While watching the white smoke rise from Rome, not with unguarded celebration, but with cautious hope. I was taken back to my boyhood in South St. Louis, Missouri. I particularly remembered standing at the window of our public housing apartment, of course, in a red-lined community. The kind of place deliberately excluded from investment, marked hazardous, and not just because of property or poverty, but because of race. Now, from that window, I saw smoke rise too, but it wasn't the smoke of new beginnings. It was the smog of Monsanto, the soot of Ralston Purina, the haze of Falstaff beer and Anheuser-Busch. That smoke wasn't sacred. It was suffocating. It was the slow choke of profit over people. And just across the Midwest, another boy, Robert Francis Prevost, was growing up on the south side of Chicago, blue collar, modest, connected to opportunity, while I was connected to survival. He, white and Catholic, I, black and Christian or colored Methodist Episcopal, both of us shaped by the grit of our cities and the God who still speaks in silence. Whew. Now he is Pope Leo XIV, and I am watching. Then I was introduced to a letter, a powerful response from the Pope to President Traoré of Burkina Faso. And beloved, something in me shifted. Oh, darn. Yeah, I later found out that the letter wasn't real, that it was created using AI, a clever fiction, a digital ghost. But even still, it spoke a holy truth. It became a sermon, not a statement, a reckoning, a cry from the soul of the church itself. Now, there are times when truth slips through the cracks. Sometimes the Spirit speaks in unexpected tongues. And even when AI speaks, beloved, it is the heart. It is open. We may still hear the drum beats of the ancestors, that vision, that language, that fire. I recognized it. It is the soul I see in Pope Leo XIV, the possibility I hear in his presence, the force Dr. King prophesied, an unsettling force that rises from cathedrals. Not only that, but from communities long forgotten by power. Let the record show. Pope Leo XIV may not be the first with African blood, but he may be the first to honor it without shame. His roots trace to Louisiana Creole, Afro-Haitian legacy, black ownership in New Orleans. He hasn't spoken of it yet, but sometimes identity claims you. And when he wrote, if the church is to truly mirror Christ, it must weep where Christ would weep. That was not diplomacy, that was prophetic fire. He confessed boldly that the church stood with colonizers when it should have stood with the crucified. He didn't pity Africa, he honored her. He said, Africa is not waiting to be saved. Africa is wanting and waiting to be heard. Now, there's something I'm asking you to do in all of this. I want you to let this be the season that stolen artifacts are returned and not curated, where African languages fill cathedrals, where Jesus wears African robes and the church remembers her African soul. Let the gospel be danced. Let the Eucharist be shared beneath mango trees. Let the Mass echo with Creole, Yoruba, Lingala, not as exhibitions, but exaltation. Your Holiness, if you're truly listening, hear this. We do not ask you to carry our pain. We ask you to walk with us in power. Come not as a teacher, but as a guest. Not as a ruler, but as a pilgrim. Not as the head of an empire, but as a man returning to a family he may never have known he had. Let the bridge you build be made of truths finally spoken. Let its foundation not in Vatican stone, but in ancestral soil. Because in the end, he may not wear black skin, but the roar of Africa echoes through his lungs. He is not the first, but he may be the fulfillment of something ancient and holy. And this Pope, he may not look like me, but in this moment, he just might see me. And that, beloved, is just as beautiful.